Welcome back, everybody. Another video on how we defeated our bosses. Now, if you've watched our other videos explaining how to defeat like the slime boss and the hive mother and all that other stuff, I walked you through and explained on how to do that. Now, this is more of a side boss. When we were fighting the skull boss, aka Malugaz, it depends on your arena, like how it looks. For example, if you notice in our arena, we have a little bit of a bit of copper that's just sitting in there. So of course, your arena might look a tad different. Now, what you need to do first before you do anything is you need to get yourself some fractured skull pieces, and you find them inside the stone biome. So you go around and like kill things, and you acquire the stone pieces. Once you have enough of the fragments, you need 10 of them. You right-click on the fragments, and your character will form a skull, which you can see in my inventory on the bottom right corner. Now, upon making the skull, it says when you go to place it down, it must be placed on the throne room, which is this. You place it down in the throne room, and the battle begins. Now, remember that this is just a side boss. It's not a main boss. It doesn't necessarily need to be done for any which way. The first few times that we tried fighting this, there was a glitch where it would actually teleport outside the room, and that was a big problem we were having. Now, if you're in the arena and you go outside the arena to get away from it, the boss will reset, and it'll trigger a respawn, and it'll go back to full HP. I don't know if they're planning on changing this or fixing this at all, but that was a big problem that we kept having, that we were actually not leaving the room. What I would recommend doing is if you do die, put a bedroll really far away, but kind of somewhat close to the arena. That way, if you do die, you can just go back there. Now, finally, when we realized what to do, we got it all taken care of. We brought a lot of healing, brought a lot of food with us, because you're definitely going to need it, because the whole arena kind of catches on fire. Malugaz has two forms. It has a first form that when you defeat that one, it goes into a second one, which increases kind of like a lot of damage, and it punches you, causing a ton of damage all at once, a ton of burst damage. So what I would suggest doing is get yourself some nice range weapons. Make sure that you have a lot of healing. Make sure that you have a lot of food, and keep dodging as much as you can. And of course, like I said before, if you manage to get yourself a bed, make sure the bed is not too far off, but also not too close. Now, remember, you can't leave the arena. So if you decide to leave the arena at any point in time, unfortunately, it's going to reset its HP. I did notify the devs about this problem that we were having, where basically we were in the arena and his HP would just reset back to max, and he would go back to the original form, and you'd have to start the fight all over again. They said this was a glitch. It was a known bug. They were working on it. They're going to get it sorted out pretty quickly. So that being said, we fought it 2 more times since then, killed it both times just to get a lot of the gear, and we managed to do it fairly quickly and fairly easy with 3 people. Now, of course, in case you didn't know this, bosses do scale, and so do things inside of Core Keeper, meaning that the more people you have in the game, the harder things are. So always remember that if you're doing it solo versus with players, it tends to scale as well. I don't know the percentage or how much it does scale, but it is something to kind of consider, the fact that it would be a little bit harder as time goes on if you decide to do it that way. So as we continued on, you can see me using a lot of HP potions. Now, one thing that I did mention to the devs as well, which is a little bit of not a hassle, but it's more something to get used to, is how you need to basically always scroll over to your potion in order to eat it, or drink it, I should say. So I mentioned to them about using a hotkey like H or something that'll like just kind of similar to how Terraria is, where you can press it, and as long as you have potions, it automatically drinks the potion. Now, I don't know if that's going to end up happening, but it would help in boss battles where if you're playing solo, it's very hard to heal and stuff like that. And inside of this battle, we actually had a big glitch where one of our friends lagged out mid-battle, and they lagged out of Core Keeper. This is a network connectivity problem that they're having with Core Keeper right now that they're working towards fixing, and they managed to reconnect, and then that's when we finished the boss fight. So remember that this boss has 2 formations. It has a one upon completing and killing it. It has a second one, which does a thrust punch at you that causes fire damage, and eventually, if you get it to a certain point, the entire arena will be burst into flames. As far as I know, there is no fire resist potions or anything. As far as I can tell, we looked around and didn't see anything yet. So I mean, they could exist. I don't know. But that being said, as long as you have like a decent amount of range weapons on you, you're gonna be okay to do a decent amount of damage. Other things I would recommend is a potion that makes it so for 5 minutes you take less damage from, or sorry, I think it's 1 minute. You take less damage from enemies, and that is a potion you can get as well. And there you go. we managed to kill it, get the awesome loot, and of course you can use all that loot. But remember, this is not a main boss. It's just a kind of a dungeon boss, I would say. So I hope this video helped you accomplish, killing it if you could. And if you didn't, well, go ahead and give it a shot. And now you know what the skulls are for. I will see you in the next video. Enjoy the rest of my videos, and I will be posting another one very soon about another boss that we just fought as well.